Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. One of the most frequently asked questions I get about my computer is, does it overheat? Many people read online that the Dell G5 desktop overheats often, getting up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit or so. And I wanted to do a little bit of a test on that. So I come here into this menu on the Alienware app that comes installed on the desktop, and it shows me the CPU overview, the GPU overview, and the memory clock. And along the side here I see temperature. I have several different profiles I can set it at, and here it shows the temperature of the fan and the temperature of the CPU and the fan speed associated with that. So currently sitting here just simply recording, doing nothing else, just recording. The fan speed of the CPU is 46% and the fan speed of the GPU, of the side fan, is 29%. We can come here. The temperature of the GPU is 38 degrees and the temperature of the CPU is also 38. And so these vary based on which setting you have them on. So this is just simply the PC been running Google Chrome and YouTube and watching videos. These are the settings that it's at, and it's sitting around 39-40 degrees. And the unit itself is cold to the touch. But with the test I have, obviously I'm not just fiddling around on the desktop the whole time. I have several games over here on this side, several of which are very CPU and GPU intensive. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start these games and run them for a bit and see what changes on the temperatures of the fans and of the units themselves. So let's go ahead and do that. So City Skylines is barely booting up, and you can already tell it's making a big difference in what the temperature of the CPU and GPU are doing. They've already increased into the 50s, with the fans kicking in back down to their regular normal settings. Obviously, something else that happens is these temperatures build up over time, so right now we're seeing temperatures of around 50 degrees while City Skylines is booting. This game is very intensive on the CPU and the GPU, and it takes a lot of RAM as well, and so it makes sense that the temperature rises and the fans need to be increased in speed. Oddly enough, the fan speed has not increased. These are the same numbers as it was before. The temperature is increasing though. The unit is still cold to the touch. Then again, the game is really takes forever to load this game. Oh my goodness. Even on this computer, I thought it would be faster, but man, it takes forever. Right now the CPU is doing lots of work. It's at 62 degrees, where it was there for a second, and its usage has gone up incredibly, and the GPU as well. Both of these units are used heavily to run this game that's taking forever to load. And just like that, we're having problems already. The game crashed. Oh man, look at the temperatures climbing into the 60s. This is clearly... Okay, well, the game didn't crash. It was just not responding for a second there. But we're not here to look at this, obviously. We are here to look at the numbers. So City Skylines will be running in the background. I also want to pull up the task manager. Let's see, let's add our main view here. Okay, so look at that. We're at 98% of the RAM used, and look what's taking up most of it. You know, City Skylines uses the RAM like crazy. CPU usage, like I wish I had more RAM, but this is all I could afford at the time. We're gonna go over to here to the CPU overview. You know, so holding steady around 60 degrees. GPU's at 50, and their usage is just going. It's not getting anywhere near 50% usage though, so that's what I like to see. The RAM though, look at that, 98% of the RAM used. Like, what? Anyway, so that so this is in what's called the balanced thermal profile, I guess. And let's see, our highest spike so far was 62 degrees there on this fan, and 63 it looks like on this fan. This is the side fan, that's the CPU fan, but these speeds change based on the profile that you set them in. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the game. City Skylines has shown us that it eats RAM. We're going to quit the desktop. And we're going to sit here until the game closes. Oh. Okay, now the memory is starting to come down because the game is shutting down. Eventually it will shut down completely. There it goes. Perfect. And now we're going to open up a GPU intensive game. And obviously these speeds and these temperatures are on top of me recording as well. So over here on OBS, I see that it is saying it is using 2.3% of the CPU. And so this one, the CPU is at 50% around that usage so far, and so the OBS app itself is using 2% of that. So we're gonna come over here to Arc, and we're gonna turn off this awesome Easter music, and we're going to let Arc run for a while. As you can see, our temperatures are getting in the 60s again. The tower is still not physically on the outside. There it goes. This is the performance setting, and so it needs to keep the CPU and the GPU as cool as possible, so fan speed increases, and sometimes you can hear it when you're not listening through the headphones. If you're listening to the speakers, you can hear the CPU fans and the side fan whirring, but if you have the headphones on, there's no big deal. As you can see, Arc is having a heavier impact on the temperature than City Skylines. Let's look at the task manager. However, Arc is not using as much memory. It's this one right here, shooter game apparently. It is, however, using 82% of the GPU usage, and so there you go. Here's the difference between Arc and City Skylines. And so we're holding steadily here at about 70 degrees. Here comes the fan speed up a little bit. You can see how it increases over time. How the fan speed went down there for a bit, but now it's high up again. And so both temperatures are increasing, and so the fans have to come on higher in order to compensate, as you can see. It is, however, holding around 70 degrees. What I wonder is if it will be different after, an hour or two of the game. Since that's the problem people keep saying they have, is that the unit overheats, and that causes very severe problems for a computer, overheating. One thing that I would think would help would be an external fan, just to keep hot air out of the area around the tower itself, to keep it from overheating. Because obviously this computer only has the two fans, the CPU fan and the side fan. If you listen carefully, you can probably hear the side fan going right now. That noise there is the CPU, not the CPU, side fan. The side fan going at it. Well, it's probably both fans combined, honestly. There was a little spike in temperature, and the fan compensated for it. And this whole time the game is running, we're watching here the game. I wonder if it happens to change it. Whoosh. Okay. So this is just the loading screen. So I wonder if we actually get into the game, it starts changing the way the GPU is used, right? And so I wonder if that will have any effect on the CPU usage. Okay, look, there's the fan speed going up, increasing considerably because the temperature is definitely rising. I wouldn't say it's at critical levels because the fan cools it down sufficiently. But here we are in game. The game is supposed to be at its highest settings as well, so we can go in here and take a look. Let's see, I want Epic. Okay, let's see how this runs my computer. I can already tell it's a little bit more it's kind of dropping frames a little bit. You can see how it's like a little bit glitchy. But this is on the highest settings that the game specifies. And so now we can come out here. The CPU and the fan are maintaining just around 70 degrees, going up to 75 sometimes. That's after about 20 minutes. Just around 20 minutes of use. You know, and this thing can be on all day for me. Even if it's just sitting idle, which is, you know. Oh, hold on. And so the fan speed going up clearly makes an audible sound, but that's no problem if you have, you know, sound coming through the headphones that makes it inaudible. And the game obviously looks really good when running at this high graphics intensity until you start moving around a lot. And that's just probably because Epic is a bit too high for these. At least for the settings my cards and stuff are at and whatnot. So you know what? We're just going to leave it. Come back to look at the temperatures and the usage. High intensity GPU usage. Very high power usage as well. So this is the thing that's sucking all the power because it's pulling so hard on the GPU. The fans have to be going constantly to keep it balanced. Look at that, 97% usage on the GPU. Temperature of the GPU is 85 degrees. And it's pulling 88% of the power that's used to power the entire computer right now. I would say that this is about normal for what I usually have. And the fans and whatnot keep it at this temperature. The unit is starting to warm up a little bit to the touch. When I say the unit, I mean the tower. The computer itself. And I mean, OBS uses lots of power too. Look at that. It's a moderate power usage. You know, it's using some of the GPU as well to record the video you see going on right now. Luckily these, apparently this game is not as intensive on the RAM, which is, you know, a surprise. My mouse cursor disappeared. Oh, there it is. So I'm gonna exit out of this. I think we've seen how that impacts it. And so we're gonna... Those are probably the two heaviest games I play. At least for now. I mean, some of these others I have here might take up quite a bit, you know, like Assassin's Creed. And my graphics card needed an update last time I tried to play Valhalla. But, you know, right now we're sitting at, along with OBS open, along with the Alienware app, the command center. And we're sitting at high power usage and moderate power usage. And the fans have turned off, well, turned down at least. And the temperature has come back down to 62%. If this has answered your question, or any of your questions about temperature and overheating, then let me know in the comments. Any other questions you have, any other further testing you would like me to do, whether it be leave it on for a longer amount of time, or anything else you would like me to do to test out the capabilities of this computer, mention those in the comments and I will gladly look to them. Thanks everybody for coming along to today's test of the temperature and the overheating issues of the G5 Dell desktop. Any other questions you have, comment below. So make sure you subscribe to see more videos, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to look out for new videos, and I'll see you next time.